This nibble originally aired on RSBANDB Update, episode 813, The Lore Looking Glass. Enjoy. But I did talk a lot about how The World Wakes was effectively this point where everything just seemed to, step it up a notch, and we went into this whole grander scheme of things with that. And, first it was the Sliske arc, and then now, of course, it's the Dragonkin arc. And, we've been going on with this for almost 8 years since the Sixth Age started, you guys.
It has been that long, huh?
I feel like we should have made more progress, but in any case...
I think we're doing well now, at least. I have a couple more things to say on this point.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, so first of all, I've seen JMods talk about the different approach they've had, from the higher-ups, basically. So the World Wakes very much apparently comes from a time when they would basically be prescribed what they had to do with the story. We are going to do a Sixth Age, we are going to do a Battle of Lumbridge, you have to make this work. Whereas these days, I guess with the Mod Warden approach in general, they are just given, we want something big, and you make up what that can be.
Yeah, and then, everything else will fit around that.
Or freedom. I do like that approach rather than just being forced to stick to certain lines.
Yeah, and in hindsight, I think they needed to do that for the Sixth Age to start off in 2013 because it was an effective reset button. It, of course, pushed a lot of people away, combined with EOC in November of 2012, I think. But it was that chance to change the conversation from what people had been talking about for the last 3 or 4 months, the evolution in combat, to this Sixth Age, to the World Wakes, and to the Battle of Lumbridge on that.
And instead they got something extremely disorienting. I've seen stories of people logging in 2013 and just being immediately assailed with this cutscene that they did not understand at all. Yeah.
Good times.
Oh, yeah. And on another note, they were talking about there being essentially 3 eras of questing. So that they started out with just at the beginning of game where any JMod did whatever they wanted and lore just sort of came about as it did. JMods had their own quest lines and they did whatever they felt like. And I guess sort of Wild Gothic Sleep's Ritual of the Marjarak came out of that, them being Paul Gower's.
Yep. Big one.
Mm-hmm. And then the second era, basically, was when they tried to make everything big and new, starting from the World Wakes.
That was your Sliske arc.
Oh, yeah. And just trying to make lore a big old focus again.
And reusing existing characters and threads.
But that was what they were saying is the third era. So nowadays they're a lot more conscious about introducing new things and a lot more hesitant to do so. They're going...
And it's all heavily curated.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff in-game now. Why don't we just do things with it rather than really just overloading the players with too much new? Because you got to tie up some threads. You got to coalesce things together,
Yeah, and I think it's fair to take that approach. And, the consistent storylines have helped everyone. They've helped us greatly. I loved having archaeology as our 2020 central theme. I love the fact that, we're getting an advancing story and, we're not waiting 8 months or maybe a year plus for the next quest. It's been advanced slowly but surely through the updates along the way. So I think we're in a really good spot, and I hope that doesn't sound too biased.
I think it checks out, yeah, as opposed to the absolute explosion of 2013, everything going all over the place. We've got things like The Death of Chivalry, where we're still waiting on a sequel.
Yeah, and, when it comes down to those old ones like that, it's just a question, they said, of, figuring out how you can resolve something like that when it fits into the story.
Mm.
Well, and those they need resolutions versus, I think what we get now is it's a more complete package, right? So we're getting lore as part of every update. So this world building that they had to do early on, we're getting in different forms now. It's not just in a quest. So I think that frees them up a little bit because they have an overarching vision, and then as long as they're staying within that, then they get to branch out and make it like even richer than what we have.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It feels more holistic these days, I'll say that.
Yeah, and people always say, you want to go back to 2007, having these, quests coming out every other week and whatnot, or do you want to, sit in this curated experience today? And, we talked about this with archaeology. It felt like a showroom kind of finish, and I don't know if we've hit that level yet since archaeology, but it's definitely a better fit and finish than it was all those years ago. And I don't know if I'd want to go back, honestly.
I think we're in a good state.
Tanis, would you go back?
No.
You can find full episodes of RSBANDB Update right here on this YouTube channel. If you found this video useful or just enjoyed it, like and subscribe, or leave a comment.